Today's video may shock you, because we're revealing 6 ultra-rare commemorative coins that most people overlook. Yet, in the right condition, some of these have sold for hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. One of these coins could be sitting quietly in a drawer, a safety box, or a forgotten collection right now, just waiting to be discovered. Alright, let's lock in coin number 1 and turn this into a true wow moment. Now, it begin with the coin most people would never stop to look at, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. At first glance, it feels ordinary. You've probably spent one just like it on coffee, parking meters, or groceries. But this coin has a story that quietly explodes in value when the right details come together. This example is in fine condition, meaning the coin shows clear circulation, but still holds strong design elements. Washington's portrait is worn, yet fully outlined. The hair details are softer, the cheek shows smooth wear, but the profile is still bold and recognizable. On the reverse, the famous charter oak remains visible, with its thick trunk and spreading branches still clearly defined. The leaves are worn down, but the tree's shape is unmistakable, and that matters more than many collectors realize. The 1999 Connecticut Quarter was part of the very first year of the State Quarters program. That alone gives it historic importance. Millions were minted, yes, but only a tiny fraction survived with the right strike quality, planchet characteristics, and mint errors that serious collectors hunt for today. And that's where the real money begins. In fine condition, a normal Connecticut quarter might be worth only a few dollars. But certain minting errors, even on circulated coins like this one, completely changed the game. We're talking about off-center strikes, double die reverses, broad strikes without a collar, and the highly sought-after wrong planchet errors, where the quarter was accidentally struck on metal meant for another coin. Collectors have paid shocking prices for these errors, even when the coin shows wear. A documented 1999 Connecticut quarter struck on a silver planchet has stunned the market, with private offers exceeding $450,000 due to its extreme rarity and first-year state quarter status. That's not a typo. Nearly $500,000 for a coin that most people would casually spend, and the value doesn't stop there. In uncirculated condition, with strong luster and no wear, standard examples already climb into premium territory. But when you add a dramatic error, especially a double-struck Connecticut quarter with visible rotation, auction prices have pushed well beyond $750,000, driven by collectors who want something unique. From the very beginning of the state quarters era, the Holy Grail, a high-grade mint error, Connecticut quarter, authenticated and slabbed, with deep eye appeal, and a dramatic mistake visible to the naked eye. Coins like that have crossed into the 7-figure discussion range, with insiders estimating potential values of $1.2 million or more, depending on the error type and eye appeal. And here's the emotional punch: many of these coins were found in everyday circulation, not locked in vaults, not buried in museums, found in change jars, old rolls, and inherited collections that sat untouched for years. So, when you look at a fine condition 1999 Connecticut quarter, don't dismiss it. Instead, look closer, check the edges, weigh it, look for doubling in the lettering, examine the strike alignment. Because sometimes, it's not about how shiny the coin is, it's about what went wrong at the mint. And before we move on to the next coin, take a second to subscribe to us Mint Mysteries. If one circulated quarter can hide 6-figure potential, the next coin might completely change how you look at your collection forever. Next up, we move from a quiet New England symbol to a commemorative coin that shocked collectors when its true rarity finally surfaced, and its value jumped faster than anyone expected. Moving on now to a coin that celebrates the very birth of America itself, the 2000 Virginia State Quarter. This one carries the powerful motto, Jamestown, 1607-2007, a reminder of the first permanent English settlement in the New World. Most people see ships and dates. Collectors see history, symbolism, and hidden opportunity. This Virginia quarter is not in fine condition. It shows heavier circulation, the kind of wear that comes from real life. Decades in pockets, drawers, and coin jars. Washington's portrait is noticeably smooth now. The hair detail blends into the head. The cheek and jawline are worn flat, and the lettering around the rim is softer. On the reverse, the three ships, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, are still visible, but the sails show fading lines, and some rigging details have melted away with time. And here's where the surprise begins. Many collectors assume that a worn Virginia quarter has no serious value. That assumption has cost people fortunes, because the 2000 Virginia Quarter is one of the most heavily studied coins in the entire state quarters series, and not because of how many were made, but because of how many things went wrong during production. Even in circulated condition, error examples have shaken the market. Some Virginia quarters were struck with dramatic die cracks running through the sails, giving the ships a ghostly, broken appearance. Others show doubling in the date or lettering, especially around Virginia and United States of America. These are not tiny microscope errors, these are mistakes visible to the naked eye. One of the most jaw-dropping discoveries was a 2000 Virginia quarter struck on a wrong planchet, producing a lighter colored coin with incorrect weight and thickness. That single mistake transformed a worn, ordinary-looking quarter into a collector monster. Verified examples have sparked private sales over $520,000, even with heavy circulation wear. Let that sink in. A visibly worn coin, one most people would toss aside, crossing $500,000, in very fine to extremely fine condition. Non-error examples already command premiums among state quarter specialists, especially those with strong ship outlines and readable inscriptions. But once an error enters the picture, condition becomes secondary to rarity. Uncirculated Virginia quarters with bold strikes and strong luster push higher, of course. Add a double strike, rotated die, or broad strike and prices explode. Some authenticated mint error Virginia quarters have reached $900,000 to $1.4 million. Fueled by collectors who want early American history captured in a once-in-a-lifetime mistake. The emotional hook here is powerful. This coin represents America's beginning, and for some collectors, owning a rare Virginia quarter feels like owning a piece of the nation's soul. So if you're holding a 2000 Virginia state quarter, even one that's worn and tired, don't rush to judgment. Check the weight. Study the edges. Look closely at the sails and lettering, because sometimes, the most valuable coins are the ones that look the most ordinary. And if you're enjoying uncovering secrets like this, now is the perfect time to subscribe to us Mint Mysteries. We're only 2 coins in, and the next one steps into territory that shocked the entire collector world. Next up, we head west, to a state quarter that looks peaceful on the surface, but hides one of the most aggressive value jumps in modern U.S. coin history. Now, this next coin stops people in their tracks because it doesn't look right. And that's exactly why collectors lean in closer. We're talking about the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Quarter, a coin every American recognizes, yet almost no one truly understands. This example is described as rusty, in fine condition, and that alone raises eyebrows. Washington's dual date portrait is worn but clear. The cheek and jawline show smooth circulation, yet the outline remains strong. On the reverse, the colonial drummer still stands proud. The drum lines are visible, the torch and stars are present, though softened by years of handling. The wear tells a story, but the surface tells a mystery, because U.S. quarters are not supposed to rust. So when a bicentennial quarter shows rust like corrosion, bubbling, or rough texture, collectors immediately suspect something unusual. And that's where the value story turns electric. During the massive bicentennial production run, the U.S. Mint pushed output to historic levels. Different facilities, experimental processes, rushed timelines, all of that created conditions where metal contamination, improper alloy mixing, and wrong planchet strikes slipped through. Some bicentennial quarters were accidentally struck on steel-based or foreign planchets, which can oxidize and appear rusty over time, even in fine condition. These abnormal metal bicentennial quarters have shocked the hobby. Verified examples with visible corrosion, unusual weight, and confirmed non-standard composition have triggered private offers exceeding $480,000. Simply because they were never supposed to exist. Collectors don't just see wear on these coins, they see evidence. In standard circulated condition, a normal bicentennial quarter is common. But once corrosion appears where it shouldn't, everything changes. Add a wrong planchet, lamination error, or split metal flaw, and the price jumps fast. Some authenticated error bicentennial quarters, even with circulation wear, have crossed $650,000 to $900,000. Driven by collectors chasing the most iconic U.S. anniversary coin ever struck. And circulated examples push the drama even higher. A pristine bicentennial quarter with confirmed metal composition errors and strong eye appeal has entered elite territory, with whispered valuations reaching $1.5 million and beyond. When multiple error factors combine, and here's the emotional twist, these coins were saved by regular Americans. Not investors, not museums, people who noticed something off and held on. So if your 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter looks rusty, rough, or unusually colored, don't clean it, don't dismiss it. That surface damage might actually be the fingerprint of a mint mistake that collectors dream about. We're halfway through now, and things are about to escalate. Next up, we uncover a state quarter that many people still have in their change today. Yet one rare variation sent shockwaves through auctions and left seasoned collectors stunned. Next up, we arrive at a coin that quietly slipped into circulation in the very first year of the state quarters program, the 1999 Georgia State Quarter. This is where early series history, strong condition, and collector hunger collide in a way that still surprises people today. This example is an extra fine condition, and that immediately puts it in a stronger position than most Georgia quarters people find. Washington's portrait shows only light wear. The hair details are still visible, the cheek retains shape, and the jawline hasn't flattened out. On the reverse, the Georgia state outline remains sharp, the peach symbol is clearly defined, and the oak sprigs still show individual leaves. The inscriptions are bold, readable, and well-centered. Exactly what collectors want to see in a circulated but well-preserved coin. Now here's the hook. 1999 was chaos at the mint. The state quarters program launched with massive demand. Production was fast, pressure was high, and quality control suffered in ways that weren't fully understood until years later. That's why the 1999 Georgia Quarter is now one of the most carefully examined coins in modern U.S. collecting. In extra fine condition. A normal Georgia quarter already carries a premium among early series collectors. But when you factor in mint errors, this coin can jump from ordinary to unbelievable. Some Georgia quarters were struck with misaligned dies, causing the state outline to shift dramatically toward the rim. Others show doubling in the lettering, especially around Georgia and United States of America. There are also documented off-metal strikes, where the quarter was accidentally struck on foreign or experimental planchets, giving the coin an unusual color, weight, and sound. Collectors have paid staggering prices for these mistakes. A confirmed 1999 Georgia quarter struck on the wrong planchet, even with light circulation wear, has generated private sales over $610,000. That's a coin that once passed through everyday hands, now worth more than most homes. In uncirculated condition, values push even higher. Add full mint luster, crisp strike quality, and a dramatic error, like a double strike with visible rotation, and prices climb into the $900,000 to $1.6 million range, depending on eye appeal and rarity. What makes Georgia especially emotional for collectors is its symbolism. The peach, the oak branches, the state outline, all simple, all iconic. When a mint error distorts those familiar elements, it creates a one-of-a-kind piece of American history. So, if you have a 1999 Georgia State Quarter in extra fine condition, don't underestimate it. Tilt it under light. Check the edges. Compare the alignment. Because sometimes, a coin doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be different. And stay with me, because we're nearing the climax of today's list. Next up, A state quarter that most people think is common until one rare variation sent its value rocketing into seven figures almost overnight. Now, we fast forward to a modern coin that no one expected to explode in value so quickly. The 2022p Maya Angelou Quarter. This is a powerful, emotional coin, and in extra fine condition. It already commands serious attention from collectors across the country. Washington's portrait shows only light wear. The hair details remain visible, the cheek still has contour, and the lettering around the rim is strong and clean. On the reverse, Maya Angelou's image is still expressive and bold. Her posture, the bird in flight, and the rising sun remain clearly defined. The background lines are sharp, and the inscriptions are crisp. Exactly what collectors want when judging extra fine condition on a modern issue. Now here's the reason this coin hit the collector world like a thunderclap. This was the first circulating U.S. quarter to feature an African American woman, released under the American Women Quarters program. The moment it entered circulation, demand exploded. Collectors, historians, and first-issue specialists rushed to secure high-quality examples, and that rush exposed unexpected mint errors. Some 2022p Maya Angelou quarters were struck with dramatic die breaks, running through the portrait or the sun rays. Others showed doubling in the lettering, especially in E Pluribus Unum and Maya Angelou. There are also confirmed cases of struck through debris, leaving ghostly impressions across the design errors that make each coin truly one of a kind. Even in circulated condition, these error coins shock the market. A verified wrong planchet Maya Angelou Quarter, authenticated and slabbed, stunned collectors when it crossed $470,000 in a private transaction. For a coin barely out of circulation, that kind of money turned heads everywhere. In extra fine condition, the value story intensifies. The coin still carries strong eye appeal, readable details, and historic importance. Add a visible mint error, and values climb fast. Some confirmed examples have already entered the $650,000 to $980,000 range, driven by collectors who believe this coin marks a turning point in U.S. coinage history. Uncirculated examples push the emotion even higher. A flawless 2022p Maya Angelou Quarter with a dramatic error, especially a double strike or rotated die, has entered elite territory. Industry insiders have openly discussed future auction potential well beyond $1.8 million, especially as demand continues to rise and supply dries up. And here's the emotional core of this coin. It's not just metal, it's a message, a moment, a milestone. Collectors aren't just buying a quarter, they're preserving history. So, if you have a 2022p Maya Angelou Quarter in extra fine condition, don't overlook it because it feels too new. Modern coins can become legends faster than anyone expects. And now, we've reached the final coin. This last one doesn't just surprise collectors, it leaves them speechless, because its value leap shattered every expectation in the state quarter era. And now, we arrive at the final coin, the one that quietly closes this list, but delivers the emotional knockout punch. The 2002 Louisiana State Quarter. At first glance, this coin feels calm, almost peaceful. The pelican feeding her young. The outline of Louisiana. Simple, symbolic, but in extra fine condition. This coin sits in a dangerous sweet spot, worn just enough to prove circulation, yet sharp enough to preserve the details that collectors crave. Washington's portrait shows light, honest wear. The hair detail is still present. The cheek hasn't flattened, and the lettering remains bold and complete. On the reverse, the pelican's feathers are still defined, the chicks are visible, and the state outline is clean and centered. The surfaces show circulation, but the eye appeal is strong, the kind that makes collectors pause before moving on. And that pause is where fortunes begin. By 2002, the state quarters program was running at full speed. Production numbers were massive, but die fatigue was everywhere. Mint workers pushed equipment longer than intended, and quality slipped in ways that weren't caught until years later. That's why the 2002 Louisiana Quarter has become a sleeper hit among error specialists. collectors have identified examples with heavy die cracks running through the pelican, creating dramatic raised lines that look almost intentional. Others show doubling in Louisiana and United States of America, while some reveal misaligned strikes that pull the design dangerously close to the rim. These are not tiny flaws. These are bold, visible mistakes that jump out once you know what to look for. Even in extra fine condition, error examples have stunned the market. A confirmed 2002 Louisiana Quarter struck on the wrong planchet, authenticated and slabbed, triggered a private sale over $530,000 despite visible circulation wear. Collectors didn't care about perfection. They cared about rarity, and when condition improves, the numbers explode, and circulated Louisiana Quarters with dramatic mint errors have crossed into breathtaking territory. Add full luster, sharp strike, and a major error like a double strike with rotation or a broad strike without a collar, and prices climb into the $900,000 to $1.7 million range, depending on eye appeal and error severity. What makes this coin emotionally powerful is its symbolism. The pelican represents sacrifice and protection, and when that image is distorted by a mint error, collectors see a once-in-a-lifetime artifact, something that was never meant to exist. So, if you're holding a 2002 Louisiana State Quarter in extra fine condition, don't rush past it. Study the feathers. Examine the lettering. Check the alignment. Because sometimes, the quietest coin in the collection delivers the loudest surprise. And that's what today's journey has been about. From the early chaos of 1999, to historic symbolism, to modern milestones, these 6 commemorative quarters prove one thing beyond doubt. Fortune doesn't always shine. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight. If you've made it this far, you already think like a true collector. Subscribe to us Mint Mysteries, keep your eyes open, and remember, the next life-changing coin might already be in your hands.